Good to see you again, Inquisitor. Hope you've got your comfortable boots on. The scouts have seen a number of fade rifts all over the forest. We've located this mysterious Fairbanks. He won't share his information with anyone but you. He and his men are camped out at Watcher's Reach, on the path ahead. From what we can tell, they're refugees from the war. Peasants, mostly.
Tell me everything you know about Fairbanks.
We don't know much about him. He appeared after the Civil War started, helping people fleeing from the destruction. Fairbanks is likely not his real name.
Do you know anything else about the region?
They call this place the Emerald Graves. Legend says that a tree grows here for every elven knight of Halam Sharal who perished in its defense. Makes you sad, doesn't it?
We are the last Elven. Never again shall we submit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Inquisitor. I spoke thoughtlessly.
Thank you for the information. I'll head out.
One other thing. You've tangled with the Freemen of the Dales before. They have a presence here. Watch your back, Inquisitor.
It is an honor to meet the Herald of Andraste.
I hope I don't disappoint.
Not at all. But as they say, actions speak louder. As my missive stated, we can help each other. You have encountered the Freemen. Aggressive bastards, no? They've killed a dozen of my people. We've tried to fight, but we cannot match their strength. You can. Why should you care about this, you ask? Because the Freemen are colluding with your enemy.
Which enemy do you mean?
The rogue Templars. I've seen them through the woods, heading for the Freemen bases, leaving with crates. Destroy the Freemen, and they'll lead you straight to the Red Templars. This, I promise.
I'll look into this, Fairbanks.
All my information about the Freemen is right here, in our camp. Help us, and everything I know about the Dales, about these woods, I will share with the Inquisition.
The Freemen's leader should be holed up here. This place has seen better days.
War always brings opportunists.
That seems to be the last of them. We've struck a blow against the Freemen.
They chose the wrong friends.
Seems we interrupted their meeting with the Templars.
They wanted something. It's still here.
Red lyrium.
They must have been smuggling it for the Templars.
Not anymore.
Why have so many things if you never see them?
I'm standing because of you. I've little to give, but I'll always be grateful.
How did you end up in the Viridium mine?
Oh. We desperately needed supplies, and tried to steal some from the Freemen. The mine didn't seem well guarded, and I used to be in the militia in my home village. I don't know why we weren't killed. I do remember Sister Costeau talking about sending us to the Emprise de Lyon. Maybe I was mistaken. I can't imagine what they'd do with us there.
I hope things are going well.
The supplies we salvaged from Costeau's mine have been a great help. Thank you again for saving us.
Inquisitor, you saved Gertrude and the others. Thank you so much. This is bold of me, but if I could have a moment.
I'd like to know more about you and the rest of the people here.
Most of us are simple folk. Farmers, fishermen. Jolene over there is a smith. Just people trying to escape the war.
What else do you know about Fairbanks?
He is a good man. He found us when we most needed him. He kept us safe. He doesn't like to talk about himself, so I actually don't know much about him.
I'm here. What do you need?
This is about Fairbanks. There is a rumor that he is of noble blood. Once the war is over, many of us will return to serve our lords, to work their fields, raise their brats. Most of the aristocracy know little of the lives of commoners. They care nothing for us. Fairbanks is different. He is a great man. There is much he could do if he had the power. If the rumor is true, if Fairbanks is noble and we have proof. Do you see what I'm saying?
Does Fairbanks know about this rumor?
He doesn't like it. And he won't let me discuss it. Stubborn ass.
This rumor about Fairbanks being noble, what do you want me to do about it?
Oh, I don't mean to impose, but you travel all over the Dales, don't you? Perhaps if you found something that could help. I've written everything I know in my journal. You can look at it.
You saved my people. We'd given them up for dead. Perhaps the stories are true.
Who are these free men of the Dales?
Most are deserters from the war, tired of fighting and dying for a cause in which they have no stake. But recently, the Freemen have organized, started attacking anyone and everyone. Their new leaders are driving them to take the Dales for themselves.
What is your opinion of the Civil War?
When I quarrel with my cousin, wine is spilled. Perhaps someone loses a tooth. When Celine feuds with hers, a country is torn apart. It's over now. But it will take years to recover from the damage.
Tell me about your people.
Simple people. Most have lost family. All have lost their homes. I found a few, helped them, found this cave for shelter. Word spread and more came. Even with the war over, some are afraid to leave. Where will they go?
There's a rumor circulating that you're of noble birth.
Oh, Clara, I told you not to pursue this. Pay that rumor no mind. I'm not noble, nor would I desire such.
Fancy house. Too quiet.
They're here, watching, waiting, wanting. Be careful.
Well, that just lit itself. Good sign.
It knows we're here.
From the look of their clothes, I'd say these men were looters.
Not very good at it, were they? What was that?
We're not alone!
Only the anger was left. We made it stop.
Was it suffering that drew the spirit here, or cruelty? At least it is over.
Any news, Inquisitor?
The Freemen have been defeated.
They hurt so many of my people. Now it's finally over. Thank you. Perhaps with the Freemen gone, we can find a proper home. Algon's lodge was always well situated. I hear you've been investigating my birth. You haven't found anything, have you?
You're the child of Lady Bernice Lamarck.
I know who I am. Will you give me what you found, please? Honestly, Clara's intentions are good, but she is young and idealistic. Clara believes that being noble gives you power, freedom. She's wrong. It is just another cage. She told you the story of Lord Giraud Lamarck. The man turned his back on his only child and murdered her one true love for appearances. I don't want to be entangled in that. I don't want Clara in it. Do you understand?
All right. Here's everything I found.
Thank you. This is best for everyone.
Andaran Atishan, stranger. Inquisition, right? We'd heard you were in the area. I'm Taven. Forgive my friend's caution. We weren't expecting anyone.
You're Taven. I've met Keeper Howen.
Yes, I imagine he didn't have a kind word for me. Perhaps he will change his opinion upon my return.
What are you doing here?
Just looking.
Would you keep the secrets of this place from one of your own?
No, I just haven't actually found anything. Yet. There's a tomb, sealed since the Second Age. I believe I can find a way through.
What do you hope to find?
The truth. Elven accounts of the Old Kingdom or the Exalted March. Do you know what that could mean? So much of our history's been lost. To regain knowledge that hasn't been distorted by the Chantry, I should stop talking. If the chamber turns out to be empty, I'll look like an idiot.
What is this place?
Dinan Hanin, resting place of the Emerald Knights.
The Order formed to guard Elven borders. Most fell during the Exalted March of the Dales.
Along with our homeland. I grew up with the tales as well. The Knights once walked these halls. Can you imagine?
If you intend to explore the ruins, perhaps I can help.
Our initial work will be tedious, and my party's more than capable of searching the ruins. Perhaps I could send word if we find something. Doreth Shira.
Ah, your worship. Just watching out for local wildlife. Little glory, but it has to be done. It's just one bear that's become a problem. A huge one. Bigger than I've ever seen. It's rampaged through camp a few times, ripping apart our supplies. One of our workers broke his leg trying to get away. Next time, we might not be so lucky. It must be upset that we're in its territory. It's it or us, so far as it's concerned.
The matter is urgent, Lady Josephine.
I am well aware of that, revered mother.
We will need them to return to Val Royeaux as soon as possible. There are ceremonies, ordinations. Make us mercy.
That's quite impossible at the moment. However, I will see to this matter as soon as possible.
My Lady Inquisitor, please, may I have a word with you?
Just when you've solved one crisis, another springs up to take its place.
I am sorry to place this burden on your shoulders, but you are the only one who can help. With the political turmoil put to rest, our minds turn to a single question. The next divine. We cannot answer it without the left and right hands of Divine Justinia V.
I have already told you, revered mother. Lady Leliana and Seeker Cassandra cannot be spared from their duties.
But surely with the support of the Empire, the Inquisition will not be harmed by the loss of just 2 souls.
Why do you need Liliana and Cassandra?
They were Her Holiness's most trusted advisors. They represent her legacy, her hopes for peace in Phaedas. They could rally the Grand Clerics to follow as no candidate from the clergy has been able to.
I don't understand. What is it you're asking of them?
We need them to serve as candidates for the role of divine. Everyone with the political support to succeed Justinia perished alongside her. Those who remain are unable to gather the majority of votes from the conclave of Grand Clerics. They have been deadlocked for too long. Lady Liliana and Seeker Cassandra were Justinia's most trusted friends and advisors. Our late divine is still held in high esteem. To honor her, the Grand Clerics might support one of them as successor.
How long does the Chantry need them?
Several months, at least. If one of them is crowned divine, she would not be returning to the Inquisition.
These aren't just any 2 people. They're key members of the Inquisition.
For the sake of Phaedas, we must ask you to make this sacrifice.
This will have to be settled later. The Inquisitor has only just returned and has important business to attend to. You must excuse us, revered mother. Don't let them detract from your victory at Alam-Shiral. We've beaten his wardens and stopped his intrigues. Soon, Corypheus will have no place to hide. Cullen is hoping to press our advantage. We'll plan our next attack when you're ready.
Oh, my maker, you cannot imagine how many letters I've received about the fracas at Alam-Shiral. Fortunately, you tied twice as many threads as cut, although it is yet bewildering at the center.
There are problems coming out of Alam-Shiral.
There are always problems from Alam-Shiral. We've lost a few contracts, but more than made up for it. Although, if a few commendations were given, it might retie some severed threads. I couldn't suggest how. That is better decided at your war table, and I'm not going near that thing.
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
With Skyhold shining like a beacon? You name it, it's here or on the way. I've wrung out the slackers, given them what for. I think I like this job.
Will you not consider it, Lady Cassandra? The clerics are still sequestered. If no one steps forward, they will debate until...
And you think I could make them agree? I've heard enough for one day, Mother Giselle.
Talk to her, your worship.
The fun never ends in Skyhold, does it?
The Inquisitor was hilarious. That's what they'll say one day, you watch. I assume you've heard that Leliana and I are both candidates to be the next Divine. Because of what happened at Halam Shiral, of course, the Empire favors you. Thus everyone close to you. So now the Chantry bandies our names about without even asking us first.
How can you and Leliana be candidates? You're not even priests.
It's not without precedent. Amarie III was sister to the Emperor, and Galatea a commoner. Leliana and I were, at least, part of the Chantry hierarchy. It would be accepted.
If you don't want it, then tell them so.
Surely it was never meant to be like this. The Chantry, the Circle of Magi, the Templars, this cannot be what they intended when it all began. The Chantry should provide faith, hope. Instead, it cannot veer from its course, even in the face of certain death.
I'm surprised to hear you of all people say that.
Oh? Am I not the same woman who declared the Inquisition against the Chantry's wishes? In all my years as a Seeker, I did what I was told. My faith demanded it. But now my faith demands something else. That I see with better eyes.
Many extraordinary things have happened to get us to this point.
I'm not so certain. I think it has been a long time coming. Did you know Varric is Andrastian? Oh, he blasphemes with every second breath, but deep down he believes. His heart is virtuous. But he would never step foot in a Chantry. It should be the first place to which the virtuous turn. It needs to change. Perhaps I must be the one to change it.
You're not the only candidate. What about Leliana?
Leliana says she wishes to follow Justinia's legacy. But she and I remember a different person. Justinia knew her fellow clerics and the people would only accept so much change. Leliana would cast it all aside and start over, I think. And that would be chaos for us all.
What would you change about the Chantry?
The Circle of Magi has its place, but it needs reform. Let the mages govern themselves with our help. Let the Templars stand not as the jailers of mages, but as protectors of the innocent. We must be vigilant, but we must also be compassionate to all peoples of Thedas, human or no. That is what I would change.
So this is your new crusade?
I've agreed to nothing yet.
And if the Chantry calls on you?
Then I will do whatever I can, for as long as I can. I suppose I should not be so concerned. The clerics speak my name for now, nothing more. For now, restoring order and stopping Corypheus remain our priority.
I return, Inquisitor, as does the Quizquisition. It begins now, and there is a timer. The Kunari are a ferociously pedantic people guided by a very particular philosophy. Name its author.
I believe the answer is Coslin.
Correct. Well played. We will continue when I have time and the wind calls me.
I wanted to thank you. When you came to see me, if there's anything... This sounded much better in my head.
I trust you're feeling better?
Yes.
Is it always that bad?
The pain comes and goes. Sometimes I feel as if I'm back there. I should not have pushed myself so far that day.
Skyhold won't fall apart if you take an hour for yourself now and then.
I'll keep that in mind. I've never told anyone what truly happened to me at Ferelden's Circle. I was... not myself after that. I was angry. For years, that anger blinded me. I'm not proud of the man that made me. Now I can put some distance between myself and everything that happened. It's a start.
The past isn't always pleasant. Sometimes you have to let go and move on.
I can't forget what happened, but it led me here. I can make that mean something. Anyway, I meant to thank you, not trouble you further. You've enough to worry about. How are you holding up?
I've met good people here. Knowing they have my back, it helps.
You certainly keep interesting company. I suppose I do as well.
Old pain, shadows forgotten from dreams too real. This side is slow and heavy, but here is what can change.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes, maybe. What was it?
Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same raw.
You needed that soldier to smell them so he could die thinking he'd gone home.
He did go home.
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
And healers need something to treat infected wounds. Like spiderwebs.
The plums are already dead. They don't mind helping.
Someone stole an entire cheese wheel.
Mice like cheese.
Do mice also like bowls of crushed mint?
That was for the cats.
So the cheese lures the mice, and the mice lure the cats, and then they smell the mint.
Mint makes the cats dance and play.
Inquisitor, we have something for you. We've been saving and, well, this is yours.
It's payback for all you invested, plus extra. You know, investment and such.
We just wanted to say thanks. We never would have been anything without you.
Pay it forward, Sutherland. Find someone like you and give them a chance.
I will. I swear I will.
Don't cry again, fool. Inquisitor, you see us in the tavern? We're buying.
If that's your will, your worship.
One for the Empress. For Gaspar. Brianna. The Duchess. And Caritas. Right in the dangle bag.
Well, remind me to stay on your good side.
Don't worry, you're sparkling compared to that lot. A cook here, a footman there. What's it matter, right? So long as there's a butt for the throne. A pretty one, sure. But how many lives are worth one Empress's arse? Ugh, that place. Should have just thrown in some bees and slammed the doors.
I don't know. You want to stop a party? I think you go earwigs.
I hate those things, with their little pinchy butts. Josephine should add that to her paper threats. You know the real lesson from all this? Never sleep with an Empress. That, and Briala being an idiot, The whole thing would have gone different if that little piss-up wasn't in the middle.
That was a mistake on their part. It made everything worse.
Wrong way around, Inquisitor. It started worse. Lots of people died before there was a hole in the sky. That's who you're saving. If you get a chance, maybe remind them not to be idiots.
So it's true. Some look to Cassandra or even me as Justinia's successor. I never thought the idea would gain momentum. Of course, with the other candidates out of the picture...
They must be desperate.
It's much less flattering when you put it that way. If only being divine were as simple as looking good in a large hat. Restoring the Chantry will be like trying to steer a sinking vessel through a storm.
No one would fault you for abandoning ship, you know.
Out of the ship, and straight into the sea. You think Thedas hates mages now? If the Chantry falls, don't you think the people will blame magic? Look at all that's happened. Kirkwall's Chantry, the war, the breach. Mages are always involved. Without the Chantry to guide, that hatred will spiral out of control.
Wow. You really don't think highly of the Dosians.
The people care only for simple things. Their world is small, and everything beyond it is unknown and something to fear. They will continue to live like this, unless they can be shown another way. But this is a discussion for later. If Corypheus wins, finding a new divine will be the least of our problems.
It's Taven's party.
Looks like they tried to fight back, but most were unarmed. Poor buggers. Never stood a chance.
There should be Inquisition soldiers here.
Hate and hunger, frenzied fear. They won't hurt anyone else.
Corypheus's men had part of a seal. Do they even know what it opens?
Taven's interest must have been enough to draw their attention. The Emerald Knights. They once patrolled the borders of the Dales, protecting the elven people. The Dalish saw them as romantic heroes. The Chantry called them ruthless butchers. I suspect both sides have some element of truth.
It's an account of Red Crossing. When the elves attacked that town, it prompted the exalted march of the Dales.
Taven would want the Dalish to have this.
I imagine the Chantry would be interested in it as well.
It's good to see you again.
I found something about Red Crossing in Danan Hanin.
You explored Danan Hanin? Remarkable. So many have tried and failed. If you went to the Emerald Graves, did you see Taven and the others?
They were killed. I'm sorry.
I am too. Sorry, but not surprised. Thank you for bringing this to me. It is part of our tale and will be cherished.
Another of the lingering pains of adamant, your worship. Sir Ruth is a senior warden of the Order. She was one of the many who slit the throat of another to bind a demon. She does not contest this. In fact, she surrendered to us. She requests no mercy. She wants the public justice of the headman's axe.
You were free to rejoin your comrades, and yet you present yourself here.
There is no excuse for my actions. I murdered another of the Order. That blood marks me more than the Blight ever could.
Accepting their actions while thralls of Corypheus, many treaties allow wardens any extreme if it opposes the Blight.
I can't do it. I can't use the greater good to justify my crimes, as if it would create a future I could be a part of. It is wrong that this broke me. I've done worse with full sanction. I can do nothing except be an example of the cost.
You feel your life is over? There's a place for such wardens. Sir Ruth, you'll go to the deep roads. Your death may be as quick as you choose.
This sends no message. This is just... an end.
You have a problem. That over there is a full tavern, but everyone's drinking alone. They're all up their own arses about the Inquisition. I can't have fun with everybody whinging, and they'll fall on their swords before Corypheus can push them. I'm thinking pranks. Set a few up, knock a few down. You in or not?
But I'm the Inquisitor. You know, the leader.
Right, they'll never suspect you. What, titles are only for getting away with bad stuff? Let's do something fun. Come on.
Lead the way.
What, really?
Really?
I knew you were different. Let's go. What, the desk? Oh, yes. Center of the Empire and all that. What to do, what to do.
All right, Sarah. What do you want to do?
Thing looks heavy. Don't want to move or break it. I got it. Easy one. Just a slip or something under here. There, won't notice much, but it's just that little bit wonky. He's so in control that'll piss him royally. I tell one of the soldiers and boom, the general seems like people. And since he works for you, you seem like people. Come on, next one. What, just the door? Where she greets every important idiot. Yes.
Well, Sarah, what do you have in mind?
Get a bucket. Classic, yeah? 5 minutes of sloppy boss gets you weeks of happy kitchen staff. Except for the one who cleans it up, I suppose. But whatever. Next up. What's that? A locked... No, leave that. Not interested in her hidden things. Not for just a bit of fun. Maybe feed her messengers something gassy? No, birds don't pop. But they flap and...
Who is up there?
Go! That was fun. An Inquisitor of the people, still remembering you're one of them. If all they got was the herald stuff, the serious bit, you'd start to sound pretty scary. That works, but not for long.
Whatever it takes. I'd start throwing pies if it kept people inspired.
Pies is so good, and Corypheus would never do that. Good thing for you, innit? Because from the bottom, everyone up top sort of seems the same. Anyway, fun time, Inquisitor. You! Oh, frig. You did it!
Hello again.
So, you're a candidate for Divine now?
So I am informed.
Is that something you actually want?
Why should what I want matter?
The idea of power doesn't appeal to you?
Ah, yes. To be embroiled in politics and have every cleric jealous of me for the rest of my life. It is very simple. The Chantry needs to survive. To do that, it must change. I have never believed in asking another to do what you are unwilling to do yourself. So I look upon this as an opportunity. I owe it to myself and all of Thedas to seek the Sunburst throne.
There are other ways you can change things.
Perhaps. I may not have a choice in the matter if the Chantry clerics pick another.
I was pleased to learn you saved the Grey Wardens from their own self-destructive foolishness. For all their eagerness to shed blood for their cause, we will still need them should another blight arise. It's fortunate my warden was not there, or he would surely have been in the middle of it.
Your warden?
You might know him as the Hero of Ferelden. A lofty title, though he wears it well.
I didn't see you as the type to settle down, Morrigan.
Tis not so domestic as you picture, but even so, it has far outstripped my expectations. My love is on a quest to combat the calling, the actual calling that signals the end of a warden's life. If he is successful, it will mean a long life for him, perhaps for them all. Once Corypheus has been defeated, I fully intend to join my love once more. Kieran misses him greatly.
It seems odd he went on an adventure and you stayed behind.
We are neither of us so weak we would die of loneliness. Where he went, Kieran could not follow, and thus I remained behind to look after our son. We will be together again soon enough, and I am glad of it.
How can the calling be stopped? Is that actually possible?
Grand Enchanter Fiona was once a Grey Warden, but something removed the blight from her blood. Similarly, a warden mage named Avernus performed experiments that prolonged his life to unnatural lengths. So, we know it is possible. Indeed, 'twas I who found the lead my love now follows in the Western lands. Success is not guaranteed, of course, but he has never lacked for determination.
Are the two of you happy together?
The three of us, and it is little business of yours. But yes, I never thought to find someone in this world I could trust as an equal. He has been a good partner, and a good father. And now I pray we discuss something else, lest these honeyed words make me vomit.
Is there any way the hero of Ferelden could help us against Corypheus?
'Tis unlikely. Corypheus uses the blight, but he is not controlled by it like a true darkspawn. Still, my love has ever been resourceful. I can give the Inquisition a means to send him a message. He will think this means I miss him, of course. Oh, he will be insufferably pleased with himself. I hope you appreciate this sacrifice, Inquisitor.
My dear, I know you must have a great deal on your mind right now, but I need to speak with you. You know as well as I how far the Inquisition's influence has spread, and how desperate the Grand Clerics have become. Our opinion will be instrumental in their election of the new Divine.
They want Leliana and Cassandra as candidates.
The Inquisition may not be invited to their vote, but our actions will certainly influence the Grand Clerics. To sit on the Sunburst throne, a candidate should have grace, charm, and a will of solid steel. Cassandra may lack the first two, but unless you can think of someone better, she is the strongest choice.
What would your ideal Divine do with her power?
The most important thing, of course, is the restoration of the Circles and the Templar Order. The institutions that have protected Thedas for ages must be rebuilt, and the malcontents utterly crushed. We cannot allow anarchists to threaten the lives of the innocent. After we have restored sanity to the world, there will be time to address voices of dissent.
Where can we find candidates outside of the Chantry? There must be someone other than Leliana or Cassandra.
The Chantry is already desperate. They would not look to unordained women if they had any choice. You may have better luck searching the halls of the Imperial Court. There are many women serving the Empire who have the necessary presence and acumen.
Leliana might be a better choice than Cassandra, don't you think?
Leliana is a well-meaning fool. She will do irreparable harm to countless people in the name of freedom. She proposes to abolish the Circles with nothing but a solemn promise from mages not to murder children. When an angry mage lashes out inside a tower, villages aren't destroyed. The Circle protects us all. Mages will die and take ordinary men with them in a war that cannot be won. Consider carefully, Inquisitor. Everything we do is a sign from the Maker to those who seek one.
Good book?
Ah! I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, because I suddenly went blind.
Oh, that. Just reports from Commander Cullen.
You're an excellent liar.
It's of no interest to you, I'm certain. It's a book.
I can see that.
It's one of Varric's tales. Swords and Shields, the latest chapter.
The latest chapter meaning you've read them all?
Not since this all began. We've been busy.
That's just her favorite.
Nobody asked you to winter.
I couldn't finish the last one you lent me. I actually feel dumber for having tried.
It's literature. Smutty literature. Whatever you do, don't tell Varric.
Me? No, I would never.
They're terrible. And magnificent. And this one ends in a cliffhanger. I know Varric is working on the next. He must be. Pretend you don't know this about me.
What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
Cassandra is waiting for the next issue of Swords and Shields.
I must have heard that wrong. It sounded like you just said that Cassandra read my books.
She's a pretty big fan, in fact.
Are we talking about the same Cassandra? Tall, grumpy seeker, like stabbing things? Wait, did you say the romance serial? Oh, she'll be waiting for a while then. I haven't finished it and wasn't planning to. That book is easily the worst I've ever written. The last issue barely sold enough to pay for the ink.
I'm sure it's not as terrible as you think.
Oh, there are a number of critics who'd be happy to argue with you. So, you want me to finish writing the latest issue of my worst serial for Cassandra? Oh, that's such a terrible idea. I have to do it. On one condition. I get to be there when you give her the book.
You've got a deal.
I'll get to work then. You know, the fact that the book is terrible just makes it more worthwhile somehow.
It's time to plan our next attack. What's the state of the Inquisition?
Our alliance with Orlais holds. For the present. They'll send aid on request.
And your actions at Adamant denied Corypheus his army of pet demons. With Orlais' support, our numbers match his. Corypheus' followers must be panicking.
My agents agree. Our victories have shaken his disciples.
We've beaten their god twice over. Corypheus must be livid. Where is he now?
After you dealt with the Duchess, Corypheus uprooted his major strongholds. He's moving south to the Arbor Wilds. His army clearly wasn't prepared to flee. Our victories have them on the defensive.
Good of Corypheus to make it easy to find him. If he's hiding in the Arbor Wilds, that's where we finish him.
But what is Corypheus doing in such a remote area?
His people have been ransacking elven ruins since Haven. We believe he seeks more. What he hopes to find, however, continues to elude us.
Which should surprise no one. Fortunately, I can assist.
I'll ignore that you wandered in without knocking. You have my attention.
What Corypheus seeks in those Forgotten Woods is as ancient as it is dangerous.
Which is?
'Tis best if I show you. This is an Illuvian, an elven artifact from a time long before their empire was lost to human greed. I restored this one at great cost, but another lies within the Arbor Wilds. That is what Corypheus seeks.
This belonged to my people.
I found legends of an elven temple within the Arbor Wilds. Untouched. It proved too dangerous to approach, and thus I turned elsewhere to find my prize. If Corypheus has turned southward, he could succeed where I failed. The Illuvian would be his.
What does it do?
A more appropriate question would be, where does it lead?
If this place once had a name, it has long been lost. I call it the Crossroads, a place where all Illuvians join, wherever they might be.
This place is extraordinary. How could this even exist?
Who can say? Formed from the fabric of time and space, perhaps. The ancient elves left no roads, only ruins hidden in far-flung corners. This is how they traveled between them. As you can see, most of the mirrors are dark, broken, corrupted, or unusable. As for the rest, a few can be opened from this side, but only a few.
What do you mean, a few can be opened from this side?
Some of the Illuvians have been left unlocked, like doors accidentally left ajar. All others are closed. They can be opened only from beyond.
Opened how?
With a key.
I suppose you have such a key?
The key can be many things. Each Illuvian is different. I have knowledge as well as power. Often that is enough.
How did you find out about this place?
My travels have led me to many strange destinations, Inquisitor. Once, they led me here. It offered sanctuary.
Sanctuary?
Not all the mirrors lead back to our world. The ancients were nothing if not resourceful.
If they don't lead back to our world, then...
Places between, like this one. I can describe it no better. For a time, I had a respite with the man I loved. For a time, I had a safe place to raise my son. But only for a time. One cannot remain in between forever.
This is all very interesting, but why show it to me?
This is not the Fade, but it is very close. Someone with enough power could tear down the ancient barriers.
And enter the Fade in the flesh, like Corypheus wanted to do with the Anchor.
He learned of the Illuvian in the Arbor Wilds as I did. He marshals the last of his forces to reach it. You have made Corypheus desperate, Inquisitor. We must work together to stop him, and soon.